Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Great to see everyone today. Thanks for coming out. Ron?
Well, good morning. One of my fraternity brothers sent me this New Year's prayer, and I really liked it. I thought it was very inspiring, so I really wanted to share it. It's a prayer that's also a poem. So here we go. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the brand new year ahead. Help me live the way I should as each new day I tread. Give me a gentle wisdom that I might help a friend. Give me the strength and courage so shoulder I might lend. The year ahead is empty. Fill me with good things. Each new day filled with joy and the happiness it brings. Please give the leaders of our world a courage born of peace, that they might lead us gently and all the fighting cease. Please give to all upon the earth a heart that's filled with love and gentle, happy way to live with your blessings from above.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning again. So we have a few announcements today. The Lunch and Learn is rapidly filling up. We've got 24 people signed up so far. So still room for at least 6 more people. So we're hoping to have a full house for that. If you haven't registered, please do so online or just reach out to me and I'll make sure to get you signed up. Promising to be a good event. Other announcements? Andy.
Good morning. Mark your calendars, join us February the 28th, that's a Friday morning, at City Hall, where our Economic Development Director will be presenting the Metro Center Revisioning Project. We have a 3D model on site at City Hall, so if you haven't seen it, you might want to take a look. It's pretty incredible. We're going to start in the front along Brands Road and work our way back. But mark your calendars, don't show up here Friday morning. Again, February the 28th, 7:30 a.m. at Dublin City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. And what time is that again?
7:30.
7:30. I got you. Sorry. Yeah. Well,
good morning, everybody. Next Friday, immediately following the meeting, we're having a gathering of experienced club members to help us recollect the foundations of this club's history. In preparation for our anniversary coming up, I think in June, we're trying to collect stories, anecdotes, and historical facts about the formation of our club. So immediately following Friday's meeting next week.
for experienced club members, you know who you are.
Good morning, Rotary.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just to let everybody know, District 6690 has the Gary Baker's primary project for his administrative year, has elected to pursue a all Rotary Veterans Honor Flight to Washington, D.C. This was working with the Columbus Honor Flight group that sends about 5 airplanes per year to DC for veterans, but this one, he's working hard to make it an all Rotary veterans group. So what he solicited, each club is asked to support, cost about $100,000 per flight for the airplane, the licenses, the guardians that go with them, all the transportation that they provide and everything. And so each club, the board elected last week to support the project, and we will provide some monies that go to that project, as well as we're looking for any veterans that any brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, neighbors, anybody that you know that has not been to DC and is physically able to participate in the moving around and things of that nature. They can have wheelchairs and things like that, but they need to be ambulatory in some way, shape, or form. But if you know of anybody, let me know so I can get their name in. As we would like to send 2 members from this club if we can. So we're looking, if anybody has any ideas or thoughts on that, let me know.
My voice is too soft, so I got a speakerphone. My announcement is about my new book, which is published recently in December. And I was surprised it already got into certainly, Barnes & Noble is not surprised, Amazon not surprised, but I got into Germany, Indian, and what's that, Australia, New Zealand, and Switzerland. So I was surprised and happy. I'm going to host a small, very tiny book signing session at my house. I call it Zen Garden, Rumpke Zen Garden. It's on January 26th, which is a Saturday from 2:30 to 5 p.m. And another book I published, some of you already know, is called Rumpke. It's talking about the nature beauty of here, Moorfield Village. Actually, I'll just walk around. And I got a strong endorsement from the bestseller, Marcy Shemoff, the secret teacher. Probably some older generation probably know her. So welcome to join me. I put a stack of cards here. If you want to come, let me know. Thank you.
Yeah, other announcements? I have just a few social opportunities to address. First, this Thursday is our happy hour at Putto. If you know where that is, in Bridge Park, from an Irish tradition, starting at 4 instead of 5. And also wanted to do a quick poll on a couple of opportunities in March. We're looking to host a euchre tournament, probably at the Shawnee Station. And the dates could be March 8th or March 22nd. So first, if you're interested, raise your hand. We can get if no commitment here. And because Dublin, I think there are potentially some spring breaks earlier in March 8th or March 22nd. March 8th work better. March 22nd is later in the month. March 22nd probably work later in the month. And then finally, we're working towards later opportunities in April. One is a Blue Jackets game. That would be April 12th, which would be a Saturday as well. If you're interested in the Blue Jackets game, just again, no commitments, but roughly, because we're looking at either doing that, or if folks remember, we did a Pins Mechanical Day, a family day. If you prefer something like that. Roughly similar, so we'll keep evaluating that. I think actually Lane raised his hand, so it may be the Pins Mechanical. So I think we'll get some information out, and we might do a registration release for the March 8th, 22nd. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Again, February 8th, our Polar Bear Open, 28th annual Polar Bear Open. Bob is modeling our 27th annual on the television for us today. So, Dan, can you stand up for a second, please? Sure. This is the most appropriate shirt, I think. Luke, maybe you in the room. This is our color for this year. It's gonna be an Irish green, no pun to who Ohio State might be playing in the national championship game, but the Irish green is our choice for our 28th annual. So we had our biggest week of folks signing up for the event this week. We still have a long way to go to cross the finish line. Just to reiterate, we have approximately over now $7,000 worth of raffle items that are going to be at the event. So, and ready to go. Thank you to David Grubbs and Bob again for getting that information. Thank you to Mary and Jim and their business, obviously, for providing the shirts at a reduced cost for us today. So Scott's going to pass around the volunteer list. We need more volunteers for that day. Not to be confused, I'm going to hold on to this today because I want this, but if you still want to attend the event, approach me and I can get you signed up.
So golfers, and then this is for volunteers, it's a big event, we need a bunch of people to help out with the day. Especially right now, we need folks for helping design golf courses. So if you're an architect and you want to design golf courses, we definitely need your help. We also need people to help with some of the raffle organization, setting it up, the event photographers, some folks to help with some of the afternoon events and actually distributing all these great raffle prizes we have. And as a volunteer, you don't have to play golf if you don't want to, right? But you get to eat, we provide breakfast, we provide lunch, and you know, the opportunity to buy some raffle tickets for some of those great prizes that we have. They're not all golf prizes. So I'm gonna pass this around. I don't have a fancy clipboard like Pete does, because I'm a digital kind of guy, but I have a pen. Oh, thank you. I stole his clipboard. The pen and the paper, and here we go. We'll pass it around and we'll appreciate it. And you can hand it back to you in the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms, David.
God. My good friend Wolf. Good morning. This morning we have one guest, and it's can't really call him a guest. I think he has his own name tag now. Lane, stand up for us, sir. Future Rotarian. Welcome, Lane. All right, new year, same rules. If you don't have your pin and your name tag, it's $1. And I don't know why we keep raising. That's one of our biggest fundraisers. All you got to do is remember to grab your tag. I'm not much better though. If I'm not standing up here, that's the only days I really remember to grab my pin. We've got $20 for the small pot today, and we have $345 for the big pot if you can draw the Queen of Hearts. First ticket will have their choice whether they want to go have the small pot or take a chance to draw for the large pot. And I am shuffling up the tickets now, and I will let Ms. Roberta draw the first ticket. All right, we've got a red 771141.
That's me.
All right, Pete, small pot or large pot?
Small pot.
Small pot. All right, small pot goes to Pete. And we'll pick for the large pot drawing. Another red 771199. All right. Got all right.
To announce our speaker, I'd like to have Michael Darling come forward. Michael?
Good morning, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce Jacob Heffron, who works for Rumpke Waste as their municipal public sector representative. Jacob is a skilled municipal public service representative with over 2.5 years of experience, 2.5 years of experience managing a portfolio of Rumpke municipal contracts across the Columbus and Circleville regions. In his role, he oversees approximately 50 contracts, generating a total of approximately $50 million in annual revenue. Jacob is responsible for maintaining strong client relationships, ensuring contract compliance, and delivering exceptional service to local government entities. His expertise is in managing large-scale contracts and the sustainability world, help ensure value to his clients by providing excellent customer service. Today, Jacob will be speaking about Rumpke Waste and Recycling's new material recovery facility, also known as the MRF, and how this family is on the cutting edge of technology, helping Dublin residents and residents across the state recycle more and keep material out of the landfill. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jacob.
Thanks, Mike, and good morning, everybody. As Mike said, my name is Jake Heffron, and I am the municipal and public sector rep for Rumpke in the Columbus area. So today I'm here to talk to you about our new MRF, or material recovery facility. Try to not talk in acronyms as much because I'll get faces looking at me like, what are you talking about? So
Some of us are used to it.
So this material recovery facility is the largest and most technologically advanced recycling facility in North America. Rumpke announced this project in February of 2022, and on June 3rd, 2024, we opened this facility. It cost approximately, oops, I'm trying to go to the next page here. There we go. The project itself cost $110 million, all privately funded by the Rumpke family. The Rumpke family has been in business starting in Cincinnati for 93 years now, I believe. And it is the largest investment the family has ever made into one project. So very committed to the sustainability world. And we built, or the Rumpke family built this facility for the growth of Columbus in mind, because as you all are well aware of, Columbus is not shrinking by any means. So this facility has the capacity to process up to 250,000 tons of material a year. So this slide here is just talking a little bit about the recycling world that we came from. The first facility was opened in 1989 in Circleville, Ohio. And today we own and operate 14 different recycling facilities across 5 states. Now, recycling facility and MRF are 2 different terms. The 2 MRFs that we own and operate are in Cincinnati and Columbus. Everything else that we have is kind of acting as like a little transfer station where we can take some material and then transfer it over to one of our bigger facilities. So, and annually, Rumpke recycles more than 1 billion pounds of material per year. If at any point during my presentation you have a question, I want to stop because I know there's a lot of questions about recycling. Please raise your hand and I'll be more than happy to ask or answer a question you guys have. So 2 things have to be necessary in order for us to have something on our acceptable items list. 1, that material has to be able to be processed through our facility. We can't take your laundry baskets, or we can't take bed sheets or textile clothing and process them through our facility. They get stuck, they cover up other things, and we can't deal with them. 2, we have to have an end user for it. We can't process that material and then just have it sitting in our warehouse full, and we don't have anywhere to send it. So in order for us to deem something as acceptable, as you can see on that bottom left-hand corner, our paper, plastics, metal cans, cups, glass bottles, and jars and cartons, those 2 things have to be necessary in order for us to deem them recycled. Yes.
You have a rough idea of what % of all the stuff put in those blue bins is not able to be recycled? Bed sheets and such stuff.
So since we've been operating our new facility, it ranges anywhere from between 9 to 13% contamination, which is phenomenal. I was telling, I forget your name up here, but I was telling her up here earlier, if you go to a big city like Chicago or New York, LA, their facilities run from 25 to 30% contamination. So Columbus does a very good job recycling. And you know, the biggest things that we see in our contaminants are, you know, those bed sheets, those textiles, or even things like lithium ion batteries. That's the biggest no-no that we see in our, yes.
So how true is it that it has to be completely washed out before it goes into that blue bin?
It can't be egregious. So, you know, you don't have to go and make sure your peanut butter tub is spotless before you put your peanut butter cup in the recycling. Because what happens is we bale all that plastic together, and the end user will take those bales and shred them all and wash them. So they don't need to be perfect. They just can't have, like, it's use your own judgment. If it's really bad, then wash it. And if it's not, then it's probably okay. Personally, I don't wash anything that I put in my recycling. Sometimes I'll be giving a tour of our facility and people are telling me how they wash everything. I'm like, great, but like, you don't need to be doing that. So
Feel free to use my aluminum foil example.
so yes, he was telling me earlier, aluminum foil. So we get that question a lot. And yes, it is recyclable, but however, people will put their salmon residue, or they'll leave the skin of the salmon all over their aluminum foil. Some people in here may have done that last night, and you know, put that in the recycling, and it is aluminum foil and it is recyclable, but that food waste contaminates it, and our end user that takes our aluminum foil doesn't want that food waste on it. So if it's clean, yes, we can manage it and deal with it, but we're not going to go to the public and say, put all of your aluminum foil in there, because then everybody will put their food waste in it as well. So if it's clean, yes, put it in there. If it's not, then throw it away. So that's how a lot of that works. Yes.
You get a lot of black food containers, but they're not clear.
Mhm.
Are they recyclable at all or not?
They are, if you use the Hefty program. However, so all the lines that run through our facility are black, and we use ultraviolet or we use light to kind of shine down and determine what kind of color, type of material, whether it's paper or plastic, or what kind of size it is, to, you know, shine that light down, detect that, and then you know, separate it by that process. And that black plastic or black material blends in with the line, and we can't really process it very well. So that's the reason. You know, if it's a clear lid, then we'll take that all day. But the black food containers, there's two reasons: it blends in with our lines, and then also there's, unless they're clean, you know, I trust you to clean out your food container and put it in there, but telling 3 million people to do that, you're probably going to get a lot of food waste along with that as well. So that's a rule we have there. Yes.
I didn't know there was a Rumpke family, so actually a family, were they in Circleville that started? Rumpke?
No, it's actually, the family is from Cincinnati. I actually went to high school with a lot of family members. They're on their third or fourth generation of the family running the business. And, you know, Mike can attest to it. They're a great family to work for, very down to earth. And, yeah, they're grandpa is still, I think he's in his late 80s, and he was the one of the founders of the company, or the son of one of the founders of the company. So a lot of history.
So we all have the recycling and then our trash, kind of the dual trash cans.
Mhm.
So how true is it that we shouldn't put the plastic bag into the blue bin? Like, do we have?
Yes, plastic bags, absolutely not.
Stop.
I can tell you that it's a possibility that your plastic bag might get shredded in the truck, or it might get shredded when it goes through the facility. But a lot of times we're training our employees not to open bags, because you don't know what's inside of them, safety reasons. And, you know, a lot of time we're just throwing them away. If you're looking at our trash that's coming out of our facility, a lot of it's plastic bags, and, you know, a lot of it probably is recycling, but it's just not something that we're training our employees to do.
How do you physically separate things going down the line? Is that a manual process or is it somewhat automated?
It is both, so. As I get through this presentation, there's kind of different depictions of how we process the material. One more question back here.
Why does the industry make all those black containers? Because almost all of them are black that you get for restaurants if it isn't recyclable.
That's a great question. A lot of the media surrounding recycling is putting pressure on the consumers to do better, when in reality, it's really on the producers of the material to do better. For example, if you think 5 years ago, all the fast food companies were still using styrofoam cups as their fast food cups, and the recycling industry pressured them to change all of their fast food cups to polypropylene. So now they're all recyclable, they're all that plastic. It's a good example of working together to come up with a solution, and we're still doing that day to day. If you think about it, something like a Planters peanut jar or a Pringles can, the bottom cylinder is steel or it's metal. The actual cylinder is cardboard, and then the top of it's plastic. It goes through our facility, and it's like, what the heck is this thing? Where do I send it? So we're continuing those conversations with the producers to hopefully make it much easier on the consumer to recycle easy. We want to make it as easy as possible, which is why you're able to put everything in one bin at one time. But yes. So we'll skip through that in these couple of slides. So we're very transparent about where we send our material. 80% of the material that we process gets sent to companies that are still in the state of Ohio. So we call that circular economy. The producer, us, we're going to buy that material from the store in Ohio, consuming it, putting it into recycling, getting processed here in Columbus, and then it's getting sent out to be made into new materials here in Ohio as well. So a lot of jobs are created that way. There's paper mills, plastic end users, glass end users, all within the state of Ohio. A lot of you may not know that Rumpke has its own glass processing facility in Dayton, Ohio. So all the glass that we process here in Columbus actually gets sent to Dayton, where it's further processed and then shipped to end users from there. The only thing that we don't really send in Ohio, you can see down there in Alabama, that's where we send our aluminum cans. There's no aluminum smelter closer than that, so that's where we have to send it. If there was one closer, then we would send it closer, but that's where we have to send it. And then the new dot is down there in Kingsport, Tennessee, to a company called Easton. That's where we're sending all of our new thermoforms that we just came out with. Your strawberry, blueberry, raspberry containers. We just recently added that to the acceptable items list, and we're partnering with the company down there to process all of that material that we're getting at our facility. So this is a 3D print of the new building that we opened in June. And again, we're open to tours. So if you guys were looking to take a field trip at any point in time, it's pretty impressive to see in action. We have a 3-floor, that brick awning over there on the left corner. We partnered with COSI and Ohio State University to make this an educational experience as well. So we want, classrooms from 5th grade on up to come in and learn about recycling. We've had engineering groups from Ohio State University teach classes there about the machinery that we're operating in the facility. So we want to make this an interactive and learning experience as possible. So like I said, anybody from age 10 all the way on up is welcome to come. It is handicap accessible. So, it's very, very cool experience to see this in action, because I don't know how many of you have actually seen a recycling facility before.
But I just ask, who would be interested in a tour?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like we'll be in touch then. So this is starting to get into how we're processing your question here, how we're processing that material. We're using things called optical scanners. And you can see, not really see, but that machinery you see there in that picture, those are called optical scanners. And what they're doing is trying to detect what is coming through the line. So they're able to pick 1,000 picks a minute. And those three we're showing in that picture, they're actually looking for cardboard or brown paper. So we have 9 of them fully dedicated to paper, 3 of them cardboard, and the rest of them are looking for mixed paper. And then the rest of them are looking for your different types of plastic or aluminum cans or anything like that. We're able to program them to kind of show or tell them what exactly to pick out. And this is replacing human sorters. So we had 6 of them at our old facility and 19 of them here. They're $750,000 a piece. And it's really helped us cut down on the contamination or the amount of trash getting sent out of our facility as well. We do. So before these machines here, we actually have 6 to 8 sorters. But what they're doing is picking out anything that is blatantly obvious that shouldn't be there. And trust me, like if you're standing there watching, like bags of trash, garden hoses, bed sheets, mattresses, like laptops, crazy things that obviously shouldn't be in the recycling. They're like our first line of defense to pick out anything that shouldn't be in there. So these are more quality control than anything else, and they help us be able to process the amount of material that we can. These are just a slide showing our partnerships we have with OSU and COSI. Yeah. So Hefty is the garbage bag producer, and they've come out with a bag that doesn't break. So if you think about your garbage bag, when it goes through the truck, or it would go through a facility like this, and that's potential to rip and things would spill out of it. This orange bag is designed not to rip, and they've worked with companies across the United States, Omaha, Nebraska, Boise, Idaho, Houston, Texas, Fort Lauderdale in Florida, just to name a few, to come up with this idea to recycle hard to recycle plastics. So if you think, what are you throwing away at home? A lot of it's probably your bread bags, your chip bags, the plastic wrapping surrounding your toilet paper, paper towels, things of that nature. You're like, I don't have anything to do with this. So Hefty came out with this idea to produce this bag that you can put those hard to recycle plastics in, those black plastics that you're talking about, plastic silverware, your styrofoam egg cartons or your styrofoam in general. Anything that is hard, you can't really recycle right now, but you think, I should be doing something with this. So if you're able to put all these items into this bag, tie it up, throw it in your recycling bin, all in this orange bag, and we can process it. So what we do is we have 2 bunkers dedicated for these bags, and we don't actually ever open the bag. So you put it in the bin, it goes in the truck, gets dumped, we throw it in the bunker. When the bunker's full, we bail the bags, and when the bunkers, after we get enough for a load, we ship them off to the end user, and they're shredding the bags and everything inside of them. And it gets turned into like plastic bricks or like plastic park benches or plastic skids or things of that nature. So it is a special program in the sense that you actually have to go to the store and buy the bag yourself. So the contamination is very low that we see out of that, just because you have to go out of your way to do this. So I always say, if you're a hardcore recycler and you want to go above and beyond, then participate if you want to. These bags are at your local Kroger, Meijer, or Walmart or Target. And this is really, we're not doing anything special here. We're just partnering with Hefty to offer this program to people that want to participate in it. So that's a general overview of it, but I can go into more detail after the meeting if you'd like. So going back to this slide here, what you see here is the tip floor. This is the largest tip floor in North America, 32,000 square feet. And we would have to shut down completely for 4 days at least to kind of fill this up. So we've partnered with the American Addition neighborhood. That's where our facility is at, off of Joyce and Fifth Avenue. And all the outward facing doors are on the north side of the facility, or on the south side of the facility, facing away from the neighborhood. So all the truck traffic, all the noise, any smell that comes out of our facility is facing away from the neighborhood. And you can't really see here, but we have fire prevention cameras scanning this tip floor constantly. So it's, you know, using vision to scan the tip, all that material for anything that gets above 180 degrees. If anything, if it senses anything that hot, it'll automatically notify us from a third party in Houston, Texas, and say, hey, potential fire here. Can you put it out? We say yes, we put it out. We say no, there's actually a solution that's wetter than water inside of it that can shoot it out and put the fire out itself. So invested a lot of money into fire prevention. Last year, on average, we'd have about 50 fires a month at our facility just because of this lithium ion batteries. And now we've had a handful here. So the system works, but obviously the best system would be for people to not put their batteries in the recycling. Did you have a question back there? What'd you say? It's really not that bad. The landfill smells a lot worse than the recycling facility, but I'm sure there would be steps to prevent the odor if it was a problem. But it's really not that bad. So the first thing you saw that loader there on that last picture, it's grabbing the material and loading it into these trommels. What these trommels are doing are basically liberating the material over and over again. And there's holes in the trommel. And as you work your way down, the holes get bigger. So we have 3 separate lines in our facility that are separating the material by size first. You know, the first line is anything 5 inches or smaller. So think your small glass bottles, your small pieces of plastic, aluminum cans, anything that's 5 inches or smaller is going on that first line. Then the second line is anything 5 to 9 inches, your mid-sized plastics, mid-sized pieces of glass, or anything that's in that range is going there. Then the third line is your bigger pieces of cardboard, anything 9 inches or bigger is going to that last line. So you might say, like, why are you separating this material by size? In our old facility, we weren't doing this. And if you think about it, those big pieces of cardboard or anything else would be covering up a lot of material that we could be getting to. So now we're able to, 98% or 99% of what is recyclable is actually getting recycled inside our facility. On average, that number is between 86 to 88% nationally. And one of the reasons why we're that high is because we're separating that material by size first. So we're able to get to that material that would be covered underneath all that bigger pieces of, you know, plastic or cardboard, things of that nature. So these trommels actually do a great job of helping us capture every little piece of recycling that we can. And there's an example of the 3 lines in that picture on the left. That most forward-facing one is that bigger pieces of cardboard line, and you can see there on the right where some of our pickers are picking out contamination as well. So this is a magnet separating ferrous metals from aluminum cans. So any of your steel food cans or things of that nature will get attached to this metal rotating magnet. And then anything that's non-ferrous will go underneath of it and not get attached to the magnet. So that's how we're separating out food cans and things of that nature. I've seen brake pads, laptop batteries, hangers, a bunch of different things. You'll hear a loud bang because it gets attached to that, and you're like, what is that? So a lot of contamination is found right there as well. This is just an example of our balers. We have 4 balers in this facility. On daily average, we're processing anywhere between 700 to 800, 900 tons per day through our facility. We bale cardboard 24/7. 60% of what we do is cardboard or paper. So, you know, we have these big big customers such as Abercrombie and Fitch or Bath and Body Works. They're operating 24/7 facilities and just churning through cardboard, and we'll take that all day. But you know, with four separate balers, and 3 of them are for your plastics, aluminum cans. We actually bale plastic bags, the ones that we get, but we do not want them in the facility still. So we don't really have a good way of processing them, and there's nowhere to really send it. So I'll kind of wrap it up here, but this is an example of our education center, which if you guys do come for a tour, it's very interactive, and you know, kind of shows you how we're processing that material in a different way. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So okay.
So, yeah, so for, like, at-home shredding of paper.
Yeah.
How do I put that then into my recycle bin? I won't tell you how I actually do it now.
Yeah. So
Plastic bag.
Paper bag, and then I put it in my recycle bin.
I would say the only way that we accept shredded paper is if it's in a clear plastic bag.
Wow, okay.
That's the only thing.
So it has to be with plastic.
I would say the better way is to probably take it to a shred event or something like that, just to make sure that it's getting properly disposed of. But that's how we would accept it. Yes.
We have closed bins from weather, like my mother still has an open bin in Delaware. Water, rain, and cardboard. How does that affect you?
It affects it, but our end users, for the cardboard, like if it gets wet, they're churning that up and making it into a pulp anyway, so it's not a big deal.
You talk about your end users. Who are these end users, and how do you get?
So Advanced Drainage Systems, for example, is one of our biggest customers. Greif Paper, Pratt Paper, IP, Evergreen Plastics in Clyde, Ohio, Phoenix Technologies in Bowling Green, OI or John Manville for glass, Pure Cycle for plastic. So a lot of those end users, they'll come to us and say, hey, send us a test load, see if we can process this material. And then, you know, we work together that way. But there's 5 or 6 paper mills here in Ohio, so we have a lot of outlets for that.
How do you recommend batteries recycling in the landfill or?
Find your local City of Dublin household hazardous waste event and make sure they're properly disposed of that way. We have an end user that we send all the batteries that we get to, and we just recently found them, but they're actually breaking down the batteries and recycling all the rare earth metals inside of them. But don't put them in your recycling and don't put them in your trash. Like City of Dublin runs household hazardous waste events, and that's the best way to properly dispose of them. Yeah.
How about light bulbs?
Light bulbs, that would go to the household hazardous waste event as well.
I just want to give a shout out to the orange bags, because we've been using them since Michael Darling gave me one at the farmer's market. We have virtually no trash anymore, because everything that doesn't go in the big bin can go into the orange bag. So I highly recommend that And I just want to give a shout out to the Ramco guys that come by every week, because they're amazing. They're really nice, they work really hard, and it's a dirty job, so thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Last question.
There's two.
Okay.
I go to Hilton Head a lot, and they don't recycle down there unless you take it someplace yourself. And I'm sure there's a lot of rural areas. What percentage of Ohio,
We take material from 55 counties in Ohio.
but do a lot of the rural areas not do it?
A lot of the rural areas will have drop off areas and they'll put like front load containers where residents can bring the recycling and put them in that way. They usually don't have curbside though in rural areas.
As a city of Dublin, how do we rate compared to other cities? Could you speak?
Everybody wants to know that and everybody's pretty much the same. They're looking for a leg up on one another, but everyone's right in that 10 to 15% contamination rate. So I don't know off the top of my head what that number is, but it's probably somewhere in there.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah,
This
thank
is
you.
great. So I guess I have one last question. So does the Rumpke family have any connection to the Sopranos of New Jersey? All right. Our closing quote comes from Ronald Reagan. Preservation of our environment is not a liberal or conservative challenge, it's common sense. Next week's program is Candy Nelson from the Public Consulting Group, who will speak about efforts to increase the number of home healthcare providers in Ohio. Go Bucks, see you next week.